Good morning, Facebook. How's it going? Storm Team meteorologist Nate Harrington.
Meteorologist Griffin Hardy.
That's your cue to talk, man. Breaking down your severe weather chances for today. We'll let some people log on here and we'll get started. What's interesting about this severe weather event, Griffin, I think, was basically I didn't talk about the chances for severe weather on Friday. Really, I didn't really think we'd have much.
Right.
Saturday really wasn't that part of the forecast, and then yesterday we started to see things change a little bit in the upper level pattern, and some of the dynamics starting to come a little bit better into focus.
Yeah, as they often do, things can change pretty quickly. The closer you get to the actual event, the better of an idea that you'll have of what you'll expect. And the big top today is, of course, hail, as opposed to tornadoes and damaging winds.
Yeah, and the hail event that we saw over the southern plains and the Midwest was unbelievable. Some of the video of the hail in Texas yesterday, we're talking golf ball size hail, but we're also talking the coverage of it was expansive. Go up and look at, we actually showed some video today on the CBS 42 Morning News, and it's on our website. If you want to go look at that, it is it looked like a blizzard had coated the roads with snow. That's how much hail they had on the ground yesterday.
Yep, and that same type of environment is headed in our direction, and maybe it's not necessarily going to be as conducive as it was yesterday, but still, nonetheless, it's something that we're going to have to keep in mind as storms pop up this afternoon.
Exactly.
We're not worried about it at the moment. We got to wait for the atmosphere to kind of warm up a little bit this afternoon. We reach daytime, peak daytime heating. The atmosphere's at its warmest. It's when it's most unstable, and that's when we're expecting to hail.
And Griffin kind of alluded to it. It's that atmospheric changing. We need the things to warm up. We need things to get more unstable. That might be a limiting factor to what we see as far as our storm chances go. Because as you look at Storm Team radar right now, this is a current look. There's a little bit of rain out there already, but there's still plenty of clouds. And we've already had some areas that have picked up some decent rain. We had a little downpour here in Birmingham. And this is another look over the last couple of hours at the showers that we had moved through, and some pretty substantial rain in some spots this morning. But right now, starting to see that rain kind of taper off a bit. And that's good news because that kind of puts a limit on the atmosphere actually recovering, and that would put a limit to our severe weather chances today.
Yeah, the longer the rain sticks around, the less of the chance that we have of seeing hail. And it looks like that best possible environment for that to happen will be kind of southeast of Birmingham, really for everybody who's along and south of I-20, where that best general region is going to be. And another reason for that you see here in the Water River satellite imagery, this is showing the moisture higher up in the atmosphere. And whenever you really need hail to develop, you need drier air aloft. And that's what we're seeing coming into Alabama, really crossing over from Mississippi right now. You can see that little edge there between the moisture and the dry air. As the dry air comes in, that's that better environment for hail.
Yeah, and that dry line, so to speak, would be kind of an initiation point for some of the storms that we might see later today. So we'll kind of follow that along in south. So basically where you have the dry air already, folks in our northwestern viewing area, the chances of severe storms are a lot less right now, but it's still, you got to have that moisture in the atmosphere. You still have to have some of those dynamics in place for severe storms to pop up. But that dry air, definitely what you look for. You need a big spread so those storms can get elevated and that hail can form. So just one more ingredient that we do have in place. So let's look at the severe risk for today. So looking out over the deep south, this is basically our neck of the woods, and West Georgia have the best chances to see the severe storms later on this afternoon. And the window, it looks like, Griffin, is going to be later this afternoon, say 1 o'clock, noontime, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, when things start to get going here. And then by, say, sundown, I think the threat's pretty much over.
Yeah, it's relatively speaking, that's a short window for it to happen. You know, we've had that tornado outbreak that happened
Thursday.
A week and a half ago, or where we had that like 15 tornadoes that popped up. That was a really prolonged event. It happened over the course of like 12 hours. But this is going to be much shorter, where it's really in the peak of daytime heating late in the afternoon, where we'll have that best chance for more robust thunderstorms to pop up and produce hail.
And I think we have to kind of define our terms here. When we talk about severe risk, we are talking about mainly a wind and hail risk. That tornado risk is, I don't want to say zero, but it's
Really?
basically zero. We just don't have the shear in the atmosphere. We've got plenty of what's called unidirectional shear, speed shear. So you have winds increasing with height that can support supercell thunderstorms. We just don't have the rotational aspect. So wind and hail will be the main threats today. And really, the severe wind risk is pretty small, relatively speaking, only about 5%. But you see
the low end of the scale.
on the low end of the scale. But you see that severe hail risk is on the the moderate end of 15% risk of any point within 25 miles is how they define it. So there's a risk that we'll have to watch later on this afternoon, and a little bit closer to home. We'll zoom in here, and like we always say, these lines aren't magical, but basically, if you live anywhere within the I-5920 corridor, if you live within say 15 to 20 minutes of I-5920, if you can drive from your house to the interstate in about 20 minutes, you need to be heads up for this right now, and then any point south of that. So basically, all of southeastern Alabama, or southeastern viewing area, I should say, which does include Chilton County, Shelby County, Talladega, Coosa, Clay, Randolph County, and then you go up north into Calhoun and Cleburne and Etowah County and St. Clair, and of course Jefferson, Tuscaloosa County under that severe risk as well, the slight risk. And there you go, damaging winds 60 miles per hour plus. And the large hail. We're talking ping pong ball size hail, possibly, or golf ball size. Of course,
it's enough to crack windshields. I don't want to tell people how to live their lives. Maybe it's a good idea to keep the car in the garage today.
Might want to, yeah.
Just in the event that hail does start popping up. Some people don't have garages, it's beside the point. Anyways, we're still expecting just mainly hail today.
Yeah.
And anywhere from I guess ping pong to golf ball size is roughly the size of
about an inch and 3/4 to a couple of inches with the hail diameter. So this is nothing to sneeze at. This is not going to be a repeat of last Thursday where all hands are on deck and it's just an all-out blitz as far as severe weather coverage goes. But these storms are going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be a line of storms. These are going to be popping up as the heating of the day goes on. So this is Futurecast starting at 10 a.m. this morning. And this is the rain that we had move through. Futurecast kind of overdoing that first rainfall right off the bat. But then, here you go, right around 2 o'clock, we start to see these individual cells kind of pot mark the map. And I think that's how it's going to be for today. These storms are going to pop up. This won't be a line of storms. This will basically remind you of kind of a summertime type atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah. It resembles that. And the storms just kind of pop up in random locations. Because what determines where storms pop up is a lot of really small local scale factors.
Yep.
So what you see there in the Futurecast, that's what it's depicting, but in general, the storms can pop up anywhere within that environment. So it may not necessarily pop up right northeast of Tuscaloosa like you see there, but the general idea of what it's showing makes sense.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we don't want to get, and we don't want to give you any false information. Just take the Futurecast kind of as a generality. This is what it will look like, kind of, sort of. Not exact locations, but this is what we'll see.
What the imagery will resemble.
Exactly. This is kind of what the forecast will resemble later on today. So starting around 1 o'clock into the 3 to 4 o'clock hour, maybe around the afternoon commute, but most of the storms kind of move off pretty quickly. This will be a pretty progressive event, like we said, and once we get to, say, 6 to 7 o'clock, sundown, we're basically done with the threat. And it's over. And we get
north turn to the northwest, we have drier air coming in, so that helps to put an end to it.
Yeah, helps to stabilize the atmosphere. We'll still have some moisture in the air, and that will add to the clouds and maybe a couple areas of patchy light drizzle late tonight and early Tuesday, but really we'll be done with any major rain or storm threat by sundown tonight. So So and then we're done. So we'll just kind of go through here, answer any questions if you guys have them. But a lot of good mornings, and we appreciate everyone watching and tuning in to our Facebook Live. Really appreciate that. Gene, is it going to rain on me on my way home? Well, Gene, probably not. I think you're in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gene. I think you're in our northwestern counties. So help me out. I can't remember exactly where you live, but I think you'll be okay. Most of this rain should be done in southeast by the time we get to the afternoon. So,
I think he's good.
Yeah, I think you're all right. Yeah. So, folks in Tuscaloosa County, basically Tuscaloosa, if you draw a line from Tuscaloosa through Birmingham up to Gadsden, everywhere along that line and southeast you've got the best chance for severe storms today. Okay, so this is basically going to be a southeastern corner of our viewing area type of deal, and yeah, and that'll be it. And this is not, like we said, I want to reiterate, because when people hear severe weather, they think, oh my gosh, tornadoes and destruction. But this is not the type of event that we're going to have widespread tornado outbreaks. We'll have a few thunderstorms pop up that will become severe. They could produce some hail and some damaging winds, and then they'll move on. They'll be moving in and out pretty quickly. So these will be pretty progressive storms here.
And Patrick Jones is asking about timing. It does depend on where you live exactly, but I would say the best window for this, roughly speaking, from 2 to 7 in the evening. 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the best possible time frame to see it.
Yeah, exactly. So early afternoon to right after sunset, and then after sunset, we're all done with it. So, that was me goofing around with the computer. Sorry, guys. So yeah, we'll have more details, of course, on the CBS 42 news at noon. And if any action breaks out that we have to cover today, we'll be on it. So
we'll be babysitting Radar today. It's one of those days that we'll just keep an eye on it.
Watching.
Yeah, we'll be watching it.
So best thing to do would be to download the CBS 42 weather app if you don't have that.
Yes.
Got to have that. We're also going to be live streaming our Radar on Facebook Live throughout the afternoon, so stay tuned to that. And we'll have some digital coverage too at the top of the hours on our Facebook Live page. So if you want to tune in, just keep it right here on Facebook Live, and we'll have all the details for you there. But of course, CBS42.com, our Facebook Live page, and on air. So you can get all the updates that way.
One more thing I want to add: if you have any good pictures of hail, please feel free to send them in. You can direct message our Facebook page. You can send them to me or Nate on Twitter. We'll be here watching the feeds as they come in, because hail pictures are really important to kind of convey to people. It helps get the message across more than anything else. That
Absolutely.
If there is hail, then people say, okay, it's hailing. I need to take action. I need to do something to change my behavior in order to stay safe from it.
Exactly right.
It's important. We like having hail pictures.
Yes, we do. And every event is a learning experience for everybody out there, and hopefully just learn how to be safe, be prepared. We want everyone to be prepared for today. So everybody stay safe out there, stay dry, and the rest of the week looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Tomorrow will be a little cool, a little cloudy, but by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're back in the upper 60s and 70s. Really nice stuff for the end of the week. So we'll get out and enjoy it at that point. So, all right, guys, stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.